Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff. The wind is calm. Your footing is secure. There's no reason, none at all, to move closer to danger. And yet, a thought flickers. What if I jumped? You don't want to jump. You're not suicidal. You're not reckless. But the thought arrives uninvited, like a mischievous creature tugging at your sleeve. This is the imp of the perverse. The impulse to do the wrong thing because it is wrong. The urge to sabotage ourselves simply because the forbidden calls to us. Poe believed this impulse was universal, a flaw stitched into the very fabric of human nature. We obey it not out of desire, but out of defiance. Not out of pleasure, but out of perversity. It is the voice that says, touch the flame, speak the secret, confess the crime you've hidden for years. And once it begins whispering, it becomes very hard to silence. Our story follows a man who's lived with his impulse far too long. He tells us he committed what he believed to be the perfect murder. No witnesses, no suspicion, no motive that could be traced. He planned every detail with cold precision, and for years, he walked freely, untouched by guilt, untouched by fear. But the imp of perverse does not attack immediately. It waits. It watches. It grows. At first, the man feels only a faint unease, a passing thought that he should confess. He dismisses it, of course. Why ruin a flawless crime? But the thought returns, again and again. Soon, it becomes a rhythm in his mind, beating like a second heart. Confess, confess, confess. He tries to drown it out with reason. He reminds himself that confession means death. He reminds himself that no one suspects him. He reminds himself that silence is safety. But perversity does not care for safety. It cares only for the thrill of doing the one thing he must not do. And so the whisper becomes a shout. One day while walking down a crowded street, the pressure becomes unbearable. The imp claws at his throat, demanding release. His pulse races, his breath shortens, the world around him blurs. He feels as though he is being pushed forward by invisible hands, not toward escape, but toward destruction. And then, without meaning to, without planning to, without even understanding why, he stops. He turns to the nearest stranger, and he confesses everything. The murder, the method, the motive, the years of silence. The words pour out of him like water bursting through a broken dam. He cannot stop. He does not want to stop. The imp of the perverse has taken full control. When he finishes, the crowd stares in shock. He is seized, arrested, condemned. And as he sits in his cell awaiting execution, he realizes the horrifying truth. He did not confess because he felt guilt. He confessed because he felt compelled. He was destroyed not by justice, but by perversity. Poe's tale is not merely a story of crime, you see. It is a study of the human mind, a reminder that we are not always governed by logic or morality. Sometimes we are governed by impulses we cannot name. The imp of the perverse is the part of us that sabotages our own successes, the part that blurts out the wrong words at the wrong time, the part that touches the fragile thing we were not to break, the part that confesses a secret we swore we keep. It's irrational, it's destructive, and yet it's deeply human. Poe invites us to look inward and ask how much of what we do is truly our choice, and how much is the whisper of that impish force, nudging us toward the very thing we fear. In the end, the narrator's downfall is not the murder he committed, but the confession he could not resist. And perhaps That is Poe's final warning. Sometimes the greatest danger lies not in the world around us, but in the strange, shadowed corners of our mind.